How's it going? Welcome back to Sunny Sheets. I'm Carson, and I'm talking about the last book that I read, which is book 2 of the Southern Reach series, Authority by Jeff VanderMeer. I don't know if I'm in a reading slump. I mean, I feel like this book was a little tougher for me to read after being so engrossed in the Lions of Al Rasan. My opinion, my thoughts are really scattered on Authority. I mean, I feel like part reading slump, but also part the nature of the book. I felt like I kind of just coasted with this one. So this video might be a bit rambly or just not a lot of substance, but I'm trying to stay consistent with making a book chat video for every book I read. So here we are. See, I would say for Authority, what it accomplishes is it gives you a more zoomed out view of the situation going on, because Annihilation, which is book 1, is the point of view of a member of the expedition going into Area X. So you're witnessing the things that they're seeing, the things that are weird and unknowable, and you're existing within that wondrous, creepy space. But book 2, Authority, is giving you more of a bureaucratic, political context for what's happening within the agencies that are in charge of finding out these answers, in charge of sending these expeditions, and in charge of the resources funding all of this. So this gives you more of a context for who's watching over Area X and what are they trying to do about it and how is that going. The main character for this book is the director of Southern Reach at this moment in time, he goes by the name Control. His name is Control. And the whole theme of this book is essentially that he doesn't have control, and he's basically trying to understand what's happening, trying to get things in order within the Southern Reach, and he's not able to do any of those things. See, I would say generally for the series, this book kind of gives you a more zoomed out context of some things. You're not honed in directly inside of Area X, but you're given more of a political sort of context for everything that's happening, but you're still given no answers. There's still a lot of mystery and a sense of wondering, and you might craft your own theories about what's happening. So yeah, you're still given no answers, but this book gives a little bit more of a zoomed out context. Authority definitely maintains Jeff VanderMeer's super creepy writing. It's extremely atmospheric, but almost in its own darker, muskier way, with it being in this kind of decrepit, creepy facility instead of it being within Area X. But I will say that this book was a little bit weaker for me than Annihilation. The huge draw of Annihilation for me was existing within Area X and the things that you witness and see and reside within, whereas Authority has that same level of writing, but in a bureaucratic, facility setting. So it's not quite, it didn't hold my wonder as much. I wasn't thinking about the crazy things within Area X. You're just kind of within this creepy office setting, which isn't as wonder-inducing. And then on top of that, I just thought the pacing was a bit slow. There's lots of fluff in between the beats that happen, and I just thought the pacing was a little bit slow for me for what happens in this book. I would say overall this book was a little bit weaker for me. The quality of the writing is still on par. Jeff VanderMeer's writing, I absolutely love his prose, and I love his descriptions, I love his atmosphere, but I just thought the nature of the setting of this book was just not as interesting. I mean, you're in a bureaucratic, facility and desks and offices, and you're not within this wondrous ecological zone. So just by that nature, it's not as interesting. But overall, my feelings for the Southern Reach series are still high. I love this series. I love Area X. I've actually heard that this book's pretty divisive because some fans of the trilogy really hated this book and some thought it was the best one. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, to me, I feel like I had a pretty moderate view where I liked the book, but I thought it was definitely weaker than Annihilation. But it didn't hinder my feelings for the series overall. I feel like this just added some context, and I feel like acceptance is going to be, it's going to tie it all in a nice way. And I think I'm going to enjoy Acceptance a lot from what I've heard. So overall, this video was kind of tough. I don't feel like I have much substance, much to say about Authority, really. Just telling you roughly what it's about and very high level opinions on it. I gave this a 6.5 out of 10. Still enjoyed it, but I thought it was a lot weaker than Annihilation. But not so negative where I'm not excited to finish the trilogy off and maybe read that fourth book, Absolution, as well. So what am I reading next? I'm reading book 3. I kind of just want to finish this trilogy off and get it going. Finish my second book series on my 6-book series to get caught up with. So I'm reading Acceptance next by Jeff VanderMeer, book 3. So now we're here in the spoiler section. This is usually the part of the video where I have the most things to say, but for this video, it's the least things to say. I just don't have many particular thoughts on Authority, but the one thing I will say that I wasn't a fan of was the constant introspection from Control, like the mommy issues. Yeah, I just didn't need all the family flashbacks and introspection from Control. I mean, I understand like sort of the unease that it added, like his family trauma and possible family manipulation. And I think that was kind of adding to the idea that his nickname is Control, but he never really had control over anything. Even his own life seems to be kind of chosen for him by his mom and his grandfather Severance. Even though I do have some negative thoughts on this book, I mean, I'm still overall super pumped for the Southern Reach trilogy as a whole to finish it out and maybe read book 4. Like Authority ends with Control and Ghostbird jumping into what seems to be another entrance into Area X. So really pumped to see where they end up and what pseudo answers or at least little pieces of context we get in Acceptance. Man, if you made it to this point of the video, thanks for hanging. I'm not gonna say the spiel. We're reading a book excerpt. Let's pick one. I kneel down at the rippling water and take a drink from the mountain's crystal clear blood. Cold Silver for Souls by Tori Tekken. Thanks for hanging with me.